Rudolph. No, you've got to be more careful with the light because sometimes it can get squirrely, right? You've got to hold it really tight in your hand, and so that when you flip it, catch it. There it is. There you catch it. Now blow it out. There you go.
Okay.
Very nice, very nice. So, welcome everybody. It's wonderful to be back with you here today at NPR National Tingle Radio. Of course, this is me, your host, Helmut. It's so good to be here. Happy holidays and all of that. We have, obviously, a special guest. So, this is a dear friend of mine who works in the sanitation department. He worked in what some might call the cleanups, if you know what I mean. And I must say, on more than one occasion, you've really bailed me out.
Well, that's what you're paying me for.
That's certainly what I'm paying for. Yeah. And, some might call it a dirty job. Some might even say unnecessary. I, on the other hand, have found your work to be tremendously beneficial.
Well, I like to be of service to my clients. I like to help people.
Speaking of being of service and our clients, today's sponsor is our friend, the ultrahuman ring. Some of you may have noticed how, as of late, that I've been wearing the ring here. Now, the ring, what you're really supposed to do is you're supposed to wear it on the index finger.
Okay.
I can fit it, but if I'm being honest, I've put on a few pounds in the holidays, and so now the ring, it barely fits on my index finger, so it sort of fits, but I'll leave it on there for now, but let's just say, when I bought the ring, it fit a lot better. But anyway, so ultrahuman ring. What you do with an ultrahuman ring is it's tracking your body temperature, your heart variability rate, your sleep, your recovery stats, all kinds of these wonderful metrics. How much REM sleep are you getting, deep sleep, light sleep, and your body temperature changing, and so forth. So I can tell if maybe I've been a bit naughty, and maybe had a little bit too much glug, the night before.
Wow.
And the ring will, in the morning, it'll be like, my recovery will be quite low, and be like, hey Helmut, maybe you had a little bit too much glug that night, huh?
You telling me this ring does all that?
Well, basically, it's like an app, but the first thing you get when you get the ring, which is, I think, nice, is they send you a little sizing kit, and you get it, you open it up, and it has all these the ring sizes there, and you put them on, so you can take, so for example, if you were going to get one, I think your hand's a little bigger than mine.
Yeah.
I think you might be maybe an 11.
Okay.
Try that on your index finger.
Index finger. See.
But
yeah.
How's that feel?
That feels nice.
About the right size?
How'd you pick that the first time?
Because I'm a 9, and I figure you're just a bit bigger than me, just a little bit, not too much. It goes up to 12, or 14.
Sometimes when the ring can't come off, you got to do it anyways.
No, don't do that. Don't mix business with.
That's right. Sorry. Okay.
So, anyway, you choose your size of the ring, and you let them know. And let's go ahead and put that back so I don't lose it. And they'll send you out your ring. And one thing I really like about Ultrahuman is that there's no subscription service. So you buy the rings a one time, and you never have to pay. It's not $10 a month or $20 a month like some other services. It's a one time, and they track your data for you, and they keep it all stored safe and secure. So, Ultrahuman ring. Maybe buy one for the stocking stuffer for you or a friend.
Yeah. I think I might need a few of those, actually. Yeah.
Well, it's so good for the trackings, to keep track of how I had a weird thought. I was thinking, if you had to identify yourself as a spirit animal, who do you think would be? What's your spirit animal?
I was actually thinking about this the other day, and I really think that I'm kind of like a giant beaver.
Giant beaver?
I'm like a big beaver,
Vincent's a giant beaver.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sorry, I didn't introduce the friend. Vincent.
Yeah.
But it's a giant beaver. Oh, that's fascinating.
I like that better than Vinny Two Nose. The Vinny Two Nose thing's getting a little bit old.
Vinny Two, I think it's derogatory.
It's a little rude, frankly. I don't like it.
I think there's some jealousy behind it. Is why that came from. I think people, when they're not feeling super good about themselves, what do? They try to take other people and tear them down.
Oh,
but we don't do that here.
That's that. Is that when the projection thing?
It's a projection.
That's what I'm learning about in the little talking therapy thing.
There you go. You're learning about the projections, right? And
that's
so
what
when
people do when they're insulting you.
What do they say? Hurt people, hurt people.
I get that now. It took me a long time.
And I really love how you'll connect with your inner spirit animal. And in this case, you like the big brown beavers.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, certainly what makes the beavers so amazing is their love of wood. And how they just like they chew on wood.
Well, they're very creative.
Very creative.
And people don't know that about the beavers.
Did you know that beavers, even if you take them away, I've seen the TikToks with the pet beavers, somebody's pet beavers, and they built the dam inside the house they were living in. So they take the beaver out of the wild
That's
into the
cool.
home, and it's like we need to build a dam. It's just like it's in the blood.
Well, sometimes we just have like these genetic desires, instincts.
So you think of yourself as a bit of a builder, a bit of a protector. Because the beaver likes to build a stalwart, like a fortress.
Right, exactly. And that's what I've done. I've built a fortress around me.
Yes.
I like to build things. I like to gnaw on things.
Right.
And, the other day I was in the pool, and I kind of swam like I was a beaver.
You swim? You're swimming like you're a beaver?
Don't tell anybody. I did that. Yeah, it was really fun.
Nice.
Actually, I had a little fun.
You had a little fun?
Yeah.
Was the pool nice. Noodles?
Yeah, no, I didn't. I had one of those around my arm, kind of around my waist, because I'm not really good at swimming. It's like a new thing. Okay. That's why sometimes when I'm drowning when I have to get in the pool and do some work, I always had a little fear of me going under the water. But, thank God, didn't happen, hasn't happened.
Well, it's called overcoming your fears.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have to face your phobias. I believe they call that exposure therapy.
I was just going to say that. I saw a video with a guy. He had a spider, like, on his face right here.
Oh, I've seen those.
I almost had a heart attack.
Those are very scary tattoos. No, an actual spider.
It was crawling around. There's a whole guy. He's got all these insects. He got a wood bug going across his head, and I just don't know what he's doing.
That's a terrible idea. Why would you do that?
I guess he thinks it's cool. I don't know.
Well, I'm not going to, as they say, I'm not going to yuck someone else's yum, but that certainly would not be for me. That would certainly not be for me.
No, not my thing. No.
But getting back to the beaver, so do you feel like see, with my spirit animal, it's not what I wanted it to be. It's just I feel like it chose me. I didn't choose it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So you had like a premonition.
Well, I did the hypnosis.
You did hypnosis.
I did hypnosis with my father, and this was like 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know, it's a holiday time, sort of like this, and we're around the table. And it was late in the evening, and my dad's like, okay, my father, he's like, okay, Helmut, just relax, take a nice calming breath, good. And every time you exhale, you're going to get more and more relaxed. Every time you exhale deeper and deeper into relaxation, just deeper, lower and lower, and getting myself calm. And so all the hypnosis is that people have like a misconception that they're kind of like going to manipulate you or like, come controlling you or something. That's all nonsense.
Did you have the...
No, totally unnecessary.
Thing?
It's not a thing. No, it's completely unnecessary. It's all about hypnosis is simply feeling safe with the person, the hypnotist, the therapist, whoever, and feeling completely safe so that you can be vulnerable and you're going to be okay. And it's all about getting really, really, really relaxed. And so you get in touch with a certain part of your subconscious. And so you do like a visualization exercise. In this case, it was picture a safe space that you really have fond memories of. And I remembered my room room as a child, my little room with my brother, and how we would like make forts out of the bed sheets and like build like little tunnels so that we could like hide and like make little forts. And there's like some.
That's good.
There was like the AC in the bottom of the floor, so the AC, the cold air came out of the bottom.
Nice.
But it didn't really. It was hot, and so. But if we made a little fort near the AC unit, we made like a little cool igloo area to sleep in. So I have very fond memories as a little boy with my brother, like building little like cool forts and things. And so I go into the space, into the room, and I find a small little door. And I go into the door, and the door leads to this, and the door leads to that. And I go down these stairs in my mind, and like deeper into the subconscious, deeper and deeper, down into subconscious.
Yeah, like Chronicles of Narnia.
Sort of like Chronicles. Okay. And so I get finally like deep into my subconscious. I've gone down like 2 flights of stairs, down like a stone corridor, like I'm inside the pyramids or something. And I get to this final door. And it's this big wooden door. And I open it up, and there's a bird sitting on top of like a stone table, kind of like the Chronicles of Narnia was the stone tablet. And there's a big bird, and I wanted it to be an owl. I wanted it to be an owl. Yeah. Everybody loves owls. Owls are cool. Super wise, and they're super smart, and
they got that rotating neck.
And the neck, and they're also powerful as the hunters. They're great.
They're very dangerous.
Very dangerous, but powerful, beautiful. And I really wanted my spirit animal to be an owl.
Yeah.
And I did, and I sort of forced it to happen. And so it was an owl, but over my shoulder in the corner was my real spirit animal, which is, it's weird to say, it's the vulture. And I didn't like that. It's a big black-winged, white-breasted vulture, and I resisted it. And as I sat there speaking to the owl was polite, and it seemed, but it's a bit like a false, what do they call it, like a false idol? It's a false person. And what was strange is the vulture was very politely waiting in the corner. It didn't try to butt in, but it was just a presence.
It's like observing.
Just observing.
Yeah.
And it was, again, I'm not unconscious when this is happening. It's strange. You're very, very relaxed. And it's not like I was having a vivid, like a lucid dream. It was somewhere in the middle where I can see the things happening. It's happening, but it's very ethereal. It's very kind of like, at any moment I can just stop and like be like, anyway, and move on. But as long as I stayed relaxed and really focused on communicating my deep subconscious, I was able to have this neat experience now.
Wow.
The next time I do this hypnosis, it's like a year later, and I remembered about like my true spirit animal not being the owl, but being the vulture. And I talked about it with some people, and I thought, and I heard some interesting takes, because again, I was like, I don't want to have the vulture. Vultures are mean, they're carrion birds, I hear the word vulture, I hear the negativity, things like it's not a good animal, and that's exactly
right.
So I was speaking to a young Japanese lady, and she's like, oh no, the vulture cleans up the past. Wow. The vulture cleans the past so that you can have a new future. The vulture is necessary for the rebirth and the regrowth of being able to process the dead, the detritus, and it creates a path forward.
They literally do the job nobody wants to do.
Nobody wants to do.
Like me.
And it's powerful, it's beautiful. They source through the airs, they have incredible eyesight.
Very strong.
Strong.
Very strong.
But I resisted. I didn't like it. In my mind, there was something wrong with that, But then I learned in local Native American peoples I believe, sir, you'd see sometimes the vultures on the totem poles in the Pacific Northwest.
Yes, they might have been like revered,
like a totem animal.
Yeah.
And I believe, in the ancient Egyptians, wasn't it like half man, half vultures, or something that brought the people across the river and it's like in the underworlds? I forget.
Oh yeah,
Does that ring a bell?
I think so.
I could be wrong about this.
Something like a boat.
Something's like a boat, right? The ferryman or something.
I think we might be, something like that.
Something
it was
like
Greek
this.
or Roman or something. But anyways, vultures are cool.
Anyway.
They're cool.
So finally, it's around 2 of hypnosis. It's around 2. I go, like this time, it's a bit different. This time I'm in a forest. I'm walking down a path in the woods, and I see this like Hansel and Gretel house, and I go inside of it. And instead of a stone staircase, I head down. This time it's like a heavy wooden car, like big, ornate, but kind of like light wood, like maple wood staircase going down with somehow this light coming in, like sunlight. It's like curved spiral wooden staircase.
Like maple wood.
Me too. Yeah. I get to the bottom, and this time when I open the door, turns out my spirit animal's name is Odin. What are the odds?
Odin.
Like and he's like the Viking god. Yeah, it's like the Greek, like the Viking god.
That's cool.
And he speaks with the voice of Liam Neeson's. So Odin sounded very much like Liam Neeson.
So what did he say?
And I remember in this very deep, very, how can I even do that voice he had? It's very like, Helmut, it's very good to see you. Can't do his voice, but it was very picture Liam Neeson, and have a very special set of skills, guy,
Yes.
Except for in this case, very warm and very kind. And I remember, he said something like, "Come here," and he put his big, beautifully black feathered wings around me, and I came up and I put my head on his very white, beautiful, full feathered chest, and he gave me a hug. It's a very strange experience, if I'm being honest. But yeah, so that's how I found out my spirit animal's a vulture.
That is a remarkable story.
Thank you.
I think that having a vulture is a very nice spirit animal.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So was any similar experience for you? And
well, I was gonna tell you as a side note, I tried hypnotizing someone.
How'd that go?
Time. Not good. No.
But if your intentions are not pure, it's not gonna happen.
Well, I needed him to tell me something. He didn't want to tell me. So, anyways, I took this little pocket watch and kind of dangled it around, and in between that, I would, hurt him a little bit and try to get his subconscious mind to open, and it didn't work out well. I had to use another method, but maybe I'm not like a real hypnotist. I didn't really know what I was doing.
I feel like your methods, while certainly, at a certain point in your life, were quite effective. Would you say that at that moment you realized that your methods were maybe not quite as effective as you'd hoped that they were?
Well, if I would have known about creating a safe space, because I was creating more of like a painful space.
Right.
And I don't think he really resonated with that. And maybe I was projecting, because I project too.
I think we all
I
can
do
project.
that sometimes. Anyways.
But it's important to remember this as a learning experience and saying, okay, who was the kind of person that I was? Who was I? How was I being? And asking yourself, did that work? Do you think that worked for you to be that way?
Oh my goodness, you know what you just did?
What's that?
You just kind of cleaned away the past for me right now. Do you see what he did? That was kind of like a vulture move you just did.
It's brushed away the past.
No,
I'm trying to reframe the past, so we can sweep away the dirty.
Yeah,
and it's not so. And again,
I like the psychology stuff.
It's not that we don't all have the dirty in our past. All of us have the dirty in our past. Okay, it's what we must learn to do is embrace it, own it, forgive, and sweep away and let go. Own it. Forgive ourselves, and then sweep it away. And so we can look back on how we've been, the past way we've been with our friends, our family members, our colleagues, You know, people that we have to interact with, and what kind of a person were we? And certainly, you know, you had a past of one might say, forcefulness. One could say physicalness. One could say possibly a bit of brutality. One could say
a little bit,
just a little bit, right? One could say does not incriminate. Okay, and is that who you want to be now?
No. I want to be like the beaver. I want to build.
Yes.
So you come, you sweep the past. I come.
You create.
Build something.
You want to build something new.
Something that reinforces, protects safety. You know, not like building, you know, boxes for people that aren't alive to go in.
Well, I think we all know what that means. We don't want to be building boxes for negative.
Right.
We want to be building a future for everybody. Right?
Yeah.
So even if we have a past that is perhaps fraught with perhaps indiscretions, okay? It's fair enough to say.
It's fair, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And learning and accepting that that's not who we are. It's not who we are. It's not defined
That's right.
by who we have been.
That's a big deal.
Would you agree, Vincent?
Yeah, 100%. But now I got to tell you, it kind of reminds me that some people, they don't like it when you change. I have a lot of people, especially people I used to work for, they say, hey, Vinny, can you take... And I'm like, I'm not trying to do that.
There's a lot of resistance to change.
And when you try to show a new side of yourself, a lot of people, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to accept it.
I have experienced that myself. I think that is tragically, it's a very common experience.
It is. I think so. Because they don't want to change.
I think for most people, most of the time, the change is very scary. And for whatever reason, I think it's a human thing. We like the comfort. We like to be, we like, to the best of our ability, knowing the future. We're always trying to make predictions about the future, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so when something disrupts that, it can feel threatening.
Mm-hmm.
It can feel scary. I don't know what the future's going to hold now. And so,
you get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I think I made that up, but I might have read that somewhere.
Well, it's like the devil, it's the devil, Even if your behavior, even if the way you're being is, destructive or pejorative to oneself, one's own ego, oftentimes we will keep repeating those patterns because it's what we're comfortable with.
Well, that's what I was going to say. What do you do when you have that urge to do an old behavior? I was at the donut shop. The guy he wouldn't figure out his order. He kept going on and on. He was on the phone, and I just kind of wanted to bash his skull, and I didn't do it.
No.
But I don't want to feel those feelings anymore. What do you do when you get those feelings to be like old self?
Well, I think it's about embracing the duality of life. And it's the duality of all of us. You see, all of us have both the yin and the yang. Okay, all of us have the capacity to do violent, terrible things. All of us have the capacity for love, forgiveness, affection, communication, and connection. And all of us simultaneously have both. And so, then you find yourself wanting to go back to a type of physical way, a type of aggression, or type of physical dominance over somebody. Of course, that's part of you is going to feel good. The ego loves to feel powerful. The ego loves to feel dominant. The ego loves to feel in control, right? But what's really happening when you're exercising that is part of you is completely out of control. Part of you actually has gone a bit mad because the punishment for the crime does not make any sense. Somebody's just having, maybe he had a bad morning, maybe who knows why he was having a difficult time making his order, and part of you wanted to take what is a 2 or 3 and react at a level 11, right?
Can you believe this guy?
Well,
I'm so glad that I didn't whack you.
Me too. Well,
I don't know how you get all this incredible wisdom.
well, I think that
it's really amazing.
when you go through,
I'm really appreciative that you're my friend. You're helping me grow. Yeah, I've never met anybody like you, and that's why when remember when I met you? Remember you came in the house, I was sitting in a chair.
I remember when I met you.
Yeah, I was sitting in a chair. You didn't know I was there. It was a bit of a surprise party, I guess.
Well, that's the thing that's amazing, right? So we are, and who knows it would become lifelong friends.
No, I didn't know. I thought you weren't going to have much of a life left.
I think we can all agree is that it was a little too close for comfort. Turns out, holding his mistaken identity.
Yeah.
Turns out it was as a Helmut.
Right, I
It was as a Helmut.
Yeah.
And he lived
I got the road.
at 1372.
Right.
Not 137 I had no idea.
I never make mistakes like that, but I was a little tipsy that night.
And yet, right, going through a rough patch, as we all have the rough patches,
yes.
As a professional person, it's a rough patch.
But you didn't look like the picture. I had a picture and it wasn't you, and I thought, what do I do now? And then,
right,
that was funny. A funny night, actually.
Yeah, so, of course, at first I was a little scared. It's like, what am I going to do now? I have this strange,
a big guy in the corner of your room.
And of course, I'd be lying to you if I told you I didn't poop myself a little bit, when you have a man in your living room waiting for you in the darky shadows, and he's like, hold up, freeze. I did, okay? Little turtle head, just, but other than that, what I found so wonderful was our ability to sit down afterward.
We did. We had a nice cup of coffee.
Breaks the bread.
We did. He makes great coffee.
Thank you. And realize that, who you're being is not who you wanted to be.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And realize that in that moment, who you were being was, in fact, quite far from who you wanted to be. Now, again, I appreciate everything you've done for me in the times. And Munich was crazy, but
I still had to go, that night, finish that job, but I felt bad about it. And that was the first time
That's the first time. That's the first time.
Thanks to you, my finances have suffered thanks to him. But my soul is kind of feeling a little freer.
You're a better man.
Yeah.
A better person.
Yeah. That's another vulture move. You really are a vulture.
You're cleaning up the past.
He really is.
We're cleaning it up one moment, one human at a time. I think that's a good place to wrap this up.
I think I like that.
Is reminding ourselves that who we have been is not who we are.
Yeah, and if I can change, a lot of people can change.
A lot of
people. You just got to get you a vulture friend that can help clean the past. And after the past is clean, then you got to get like a beaver type friend. Just come and just make a new home for you, and make a new place.
I think
a new place to live.
I think that's why we'll think about this. It's the yin and the yang, right? The vulture and the beaver, the cleaner and the builder. You see how that life works.
Wow.
You see how that comes together. That's why we're friends.
I love it.
You have the two kinds, the yin and the yang, the ancient wisdom. So,
unbelievable.
So for everybody out there, you never know who your friends are gonna be. You never know what circumstances are gonna happen. But if we remember to focus on listening for people's goodness, and not the things that they feel ashamed for, but listening for the things that they're proud of. We can change relationships, change friendships, have more love, more connection, more intimacy for you and for me.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you very much. Und für that, from me, Helmut and Vincent, wish you happy holidays and a good night's rest. And we look forward to hearing and seeing you again real soon.
Merry Christmas, folks.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays. Happy New Year's.